everyone. This is Geaux Stros coming at you live right now for Game 3 of the 3-game series at Kansas City. Astros on the defensive side having a great series, but on the offensive side playing like great-great-grandpas. They just look like they shouldn't even be out there the way they're playing. Losing the first 2 games to the Royals 2-0. Just unable to put even so much as 1 run on the board so far. 18 scoreless innings for the Astros. And here I am at 3 o'clock in the morning, guys, to call Game 3. Astros better do something this morning. I don't like to sleep for just a couple of hours and get up and watch them lose, especially get swept. Hunter Brown has been really awesome. I expect him to do something similar to what the other pitchers have done and limit the Royals to almost nothing as far as runs are concerned. So the only thing that is left for the Astros to do, of course, is to hit the ball and get some runs. I expect them to do that today, but then again, I expected them to do that yesterday and the day before. So the question is, will they do it today? We're about to find out. Let's take a quick look at the lineup. The Astros are due up here in just a moment. They're still doing some warm-ups in the field right now. Jeremy Pena is leading off the batting today. It looks like Altuve is going to have a break. So Pena moves up into the number 1 slot, followed by Isaac Paredes at third. Jordan batting DH in the 3rd position. Christian Walker in the cleanup spot at first base. Yainer Diaz catching today, batting 5th. Cam Smith back in the lineup, batting 6th. They moved him up a lot. He'll be in right field. DeCenzo will be in left field, batting 7th. Brendan Rodgers will be at 2nd today, batting 8th. And Myers will be out, replaced by McCormick in center field, batting 9th for the Stros. That's our lineup today for the Astros. Pena, Paredes, Alvarez, Walker, Diaz, Smith, DeCenzo, Rodgers, McCormick. Of course, Hunter Brown is on the mound. He'll be facing Chris Bubic, or is it Bubich? I guess it's Bubic. Let's see how many games he has underneath his belt. He is 2-1 so far this season with a 1.45 ERA. He and Hunter Brown had the exact same amount of innings pitched. He has given up 24 hits. Hunter Brown has only given up 17. However, he actually has 2 more strikeouts than Hunter Brown. I feel like Hunter Brown's strikeouts should be about 5 higher than they are. Having seen the other games that Hunter Brown has pitched, I know that the umpires have caused him to miss several strikeouts. Only 6 walks for Hunter Brown, 9 for Buick. And each of these pitchers have given up just 1 home run in the last 31 innings. Hunter Brown with the lower ERA, an incredible 1.16 so far, 3-1 record. A candidate for Pitcher of the Month in the MLB. If he performs well here today again, then most likely he will get it. Shoot says, do you stream using OBS or just a green screen? sounds like you're familiar with a little bit of these programs. Shoot. And I use Prism. I'm using Prism Live Studio in combination with Prism Lens, if you're familiar with those software programs. Prism Lens is the camera capture software, and it works as the source for Prism Live Studio. And I set up the settings for the somewhat green screen effect. You can see by looking at the way my headset is appearing and disappearing on screen, you can see it's not working really well. And that's just because I'm not using a ton of light right now, and I'm not using a green screen. If I were using a green screen behind me at the moment, it would look a lot better than it does. But I haven't set that up right now. I guess you could say, on the road, just like the Astros are. I am not at home, and so it wouldn't be easy or convenient for me to have a green screen set up behind myself. So I hope that answers your question about my setup at the moment. I just allow the Prism Lens software to automatically remove the background and put in my logo, my Geaux Stros logo. But appreciate the question about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it. Four total runs have been scored in this series so far, all by KC, not a single run by the Astros. 3 of those 4 runs have come on sacrifice hits. The only run that has not been on a sacrifice hit was a solo home run, and I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, I was going to say that was Jonathan India, but I might be incorrect. Maybe it was Pasquantino. Perhaps. But anyway, I was about to say the kickoff time. The first pitch for the Astros should be coming in just about a minute or so. Sometimes when I see some of these commercials, how some of these athletes behave during the games or in between the games, it kind of makes me want to shake my head, because they're making so much money to play a sport. And I realize it's their job, but it doesn't matter. It's still a game. They're literally, they literally have a job that is a game. And their only, quote, job is to be the best at that game as they can possibly be. And if they are not a pitcher, if they are not pitchers, then they have to be decent on defense, and they have to be good hitters. That's what they really should be. Good enough on defense and outstanding at the plate. It's kind of like the basics for a non-pitcher role, right? Good enough in defense and above average on offense. And that's what it should be. Pitchers, of course, should just be able to get the outs. Pitch as many innings as possible with as few runs as possible. But it doesn't matter. Whatever position they play, they're getting paid big money to play those positions. I challenge any of you to find a basic job that pays this kind of money that these players get, and then to see them acting like children during the games or in between innings makes no sense. Another thing that I think is broken in sports, if you think about it, is how they get these big contracts for multiple years, but there's nothing in the contract typically that penalizes them for falling off, for becoming less than what they were signed to be. They can just become mediocre. There's no punishment for that. I started thinking about that a lot because of Rafael Montero. Pena is in the box right now, getting ready to lead this game off, batting .247 for the season so far. Here's the first pitch, just inside 91 miles per hour on that fastball, and that is ball one. Whoops. There we go, got the right one. 1-0, here's the pitch from Bubic. It was in the dirt, 92 mile per hour fastball, 2-0. Good start to this game for Pena. Nice afternoon game for most of you. Here comes the next pitch. Excuse me. That one's just barely inside and low for strike one, 2-1. Next pitch is in there, hit high over towards first base. Pasquantino, the first baseman, calls it and he grabs it, so that'll be out number one. Pena flies out to start the game. And that brings up Isaac Paredes. Casey says, cheers, happy Sunday. Thank you for coming back, Casey. It's nice to see you. Happy Monday to you. It's Monday here, but it is only about 3:15 in the morning. High and outside, the first pitch to Perez is a ball. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Right in there in the middle of the plate for a strike. Another fastball. Count is now 1-1. Here comes the pitch. This one's muscled off down the first baseline and into the crowd. Another fastball about 93 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Paredes has actually managed to bring his batting average up to .255. He calls timeout, steps out of the box. Alvarez in the DH spot. He'll be up next. 1-2 is the count to Paredes. Here comes the pitch from Bubic. This is hit to left center field, but the center fielder is over and underneath it. No problem for out number 2. 2 flyouts for the Astros. 2 up and 2 down. 8 pitches in. And I just heard that it's Bubic. Bubic is the correct pronunciation for the pitcher. Jordan got his average above 200, and then it came back down. It's at exactly 200 right now. In 25 games, he's batting an even 200. Home runs have not really been on the menu for Alvarez. Neither has hitting the ball hard and well, and just overall a lackluster performance. Let's see if he can get that turned around. Fastball low for ball one. Tenth pitch on the way from Bubic. That one's in there and hit hard to right field, right center, all the way out to the wall. That is off the base of the wall. Jordan cruises into second with a crushed ball to right center that hits off the base of the wall. That was a nice hit, one of the best strikes on the ball that I've seen Jordan have in a long time. Went down a little low to get a sinker, and it hit off the base of the wall. Just a few feet higher, it would have been a homer. So we have a runner on second with 2 outs. Christian Walker at the plate. Let's see what Mr. Walker can do. Here's the pitch. He fouls that one back. A 91 mile per hour fastball. Strike one. One hit for the Astros in the first inning. Walker batting 198, very similar to Alvarez. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fouled off again. Another 92 mile per hour pitch. 0-2 with 2 outs and runner on second. Here comes the 0-2. That one's in the dirt. An 86 mile per hour changeup. Walker takes that for ball one. Walker has improved a lot recently, but not overall batting well with runners in scoring position. He fouls this one off on the right side and into the crowd, and the count remains 1-2. It seems I have 4 people following along right now. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Fifteenth pitch of the game coming from Bubic. Ooh, barely hangs in there. Foul tip for Christian Walker, and it bounces off the glove and the mask of the catcher. Count remains 1-2. One, 2 is the count. Bubic comes set. Here's the delivery. Another foul ball. Tipped right off the glove of the catcher. Walker staying alive, forcing Bubic to throw more pitches. Recently, Walker has missed a few home runs just by pulling it foul. Here comes the 1-2. Inside and low, good take. Evens the count, 2-2. Half a dozen people following along. Thank you for being here. If you have the time, please like the live stream. The count is 2-2 with 2 outs versus Walker. Here's the pitch, and he swings and misses that one. And that would be it for the Astros. Walker throws his bat and helmet down in disgust. That's going to be it for the Astros. They strand Jordan on second after his 2-out double off the base of the wall. Nice solid strike for Jordan. It would have been nice if that came with runners on base rather than with bases empty. But as it stands, the Astros have 1 hit going into the bottom of the first. Hunter Brown will be up on the mound in just a moment. And the Royals line up. He'll be facing Jonathan India in the leadoff spot, followed by Bobby Witt Jr. And then Pasquantino, the first baseman. I'll take this opportunity to say again, I appreciate you all being here. Greetings from Japan. It is about 3:21 in the morning. A little challenging to do this game for me today. Only slept for maybe around 2 hours. And then got back up to do this game. I would imagine that after this is over, I'm going right back to sleep. Hope the Astros pull this one out and do it quickly. That's what I would like. A 2-hour game that the Astros win easily. Just have maybe one big inning scored like 7 or 8 runs real quick. Or just maybe a bunch of home runs throughout the game is fine too. And otherwise a quick game, that'd be nice. That way it would be interesting but fast. Hunter Brown scraped some dirt off the mound, and he's about to deliver his first pitch to Jonathan India, and here it comes. 96 mile per hour, right in the outside corner of the zone for strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Just a little outside, 97 miles an hour. Ball one. The count is even. Here comes the next pitch. Cutter low and away. Doesn't tempt India enough. 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Ooh, 95 in the very top of the zone. Should have been called as a strike, but the umpire laid off. 3 balls and 1 strike. That one is in the zone, but fouled off by India. Either way, it would have been strike 2. Now it's a full count. Here comes the full count pitch to India. Brown's delivery's on the way. This one's hit right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. Bounces a couple of times before it gets to McCormick. And the Royals have a leadoff runner on first. Hunter Brown gives up his first hit of the game. Each team now has 1 hit. Interesting outfield for the Astros right now. DeCenzo, McCormick, and Smith. Bobby Witt Jr. comes to the plate and takes the first one way inside. A fastball too far in. 1-0. Batting .318 this season. Here comes the pitch. Fouls it away. 95 mile per hour fastball up in the zone. Evens the count, 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 pitch from Brown. Right in the bottom of the zone. Beautiful fastball, 96 miles an hour. Taken for strike 2. Here comes the next pitch. Nope. Hunter Brown instead goes over to first. India is back safely. The 10th pitch of the game on the way. Runner is going to second. Diaz throws and they say he's out. Are you kidding me? Did they get him? Jonathan India is gunned down to second base, and they're not even going to look at it. They're going to assume that that's clearly out. That pitch couldn't have been closer. It couldn't have been better. Yainer Diaz is clapping. Good throw there. Out number 1. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. Here comes the pitch. Tapped foul behind the plate. Count remains 2-2. No base runners now. 1 out. Let's see if Hunter Brown can get one by Mr. Witt. Change his name to Bobby Whiff Jr. Hunter Brown gets the call he wants. Batter calls timeout as Whiff steps out of the plate. Steps out of the box, rather. Hunter Brown strolls off the mound just for a moment. Now he's back up on the rubber. Here comes the toss. Right in there, strike 3. Witt knew it. 99 miles an hour. Right in the bottom of the zone. Could not have been better. Strike 3. Hunter Brown picks up his first K. Man, that ball was just above the knees of Mr. Whiff Jr. Here comes the first pitch to Vinny Pasquantino. 98 miles an hour. He fouls it back. Strike 1. A baker's dozen for Hunter Brown right now. Here comes the next pitch. Swing and a miss on a 99 mile per hour fastball up in the zone. Wow. Hunter Brown's fastball is just becoming crazy. Here comes the next pitch. Knuckle curve in the top of the zone, fouled off. Count remains 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Whoa, 99 miles per hour, but way up and out of the zone. Brown lost a little bit of control on that one. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the next pitch. Strike 3 in the low part of the zone. How do you like that? 89 miles an hour. Right in the bottom of the zone. Strike 3. 2 Ks for Hunter Brown in the first inning. 1 on Whiff Jr. And that one on Pasquantino. Excellent start for Hunter Brown that first inning. Phenomenal. Now the Astros just need to hit the ball. Yainer Diaz is due up, followed by Cam Smith and then Zach DeCinzo. Top of the second, 1 hit each for the Royals and the Astros. No runs yet. Let's see if the mid to lower part of the batting order can do something for the Stros. Get some kind of rally going. The last couple of games where the Astros did quite well, almost every single player had a hit. So that when they were hitting the ball as a team, they were putting runs on the board. But if their hits are more scattered out, or you have one player doing really well and the other players not so much, they tend to get some hits, but just strand runners on base. And that's been kind of the tale of this series so far. They haven't had a ton of hits, not a ton of base runners, but they have left guys on base. And they've scored nothing so far. Yonder Diaz is in the box and ready for the first pitch. Bubic becomes set, and here's the pitch. Right on the outside edge, 91 mile per hour, strike one. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Check swing, did he go around? They say he did, that'll be strike two. A high fastball, should have been ball one, but Yiner couldn't hold up. 20 pitches now for Bubic. Here comes the 21st. Another check swing. He almost gets him on the sweeper, but that'll be ball one. Yiner batting just 165 this year. Here's that 1-2 pitch. This is grounded foul, an 85 mile per hour changeup. Just below the zone. Yiner not living up to his expected potential as the primary catcher for the Astros. Not living up to it so far this season. Here's the pitch. This one's fouled back. The count remains 1-2. Last year was a respectable year for Yiner. It wasn't stellar, but it wasn't bad. We were hoping to get at least that much this year. So far, it has not even been half that. He hits that one in the air. Pasquantino's over at first base to get it. Just a short little pop, and that'll be out number one. Yiner goes down. Cam Smith is due up now. He strolls to the plate. He was out of the game yesterday. It's nice to see him back in. Let's see if he can pump some energy into this Astros lineup. Here comes the first pitch from Bubic. 86 miles per hour in the top of the zone for strike one. Good looking slider. He's batting .219 for the season, but .260 in the last I was about to say 2 weeks, but actually in the last 14 games. The changeup is fouled off for strike two. 0-2 is the count. No balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith with 1 out, no runners on. Here in the top of the second. Here comes the pitch. Check swing high, 93 miles an hour, and that'll be ball one. One and two pitch on the way. Fouled away. 93 mile per hour fastball. Count remains 1-2. One away right now. No runners on. Zach DeCenzo on deck. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Smith. Way inside. Almost got his leg. The count is even, 2-2. "30 pitches for Bubich on the way right now. Low and inside again. Ball 3, and we have a full count. Here comes the full count pitch. Fouled away down the third baseline. Count remains 3-2. Cam Smith extending this at bat. Coming back from 0-2 and getting the full count and staying alive. 31 pitches now for Bubich here in the second inning. He's only got one out. Here comes the 3-2. In the dirt, ball 4. Good job by Cam Smith. Working that count full. Working the count full and then getting the walk. We have a base runner with one out. And that brings up our other young guy, Zach DeCenzo. DeCenzo has been really coming on strong recently, in particular in the series against the Blue Jays. Still waiting for him to do something in this series, though. And by something, I mean get some RBIs. That's a strike right in the zone, an 81-mile-per-hour sweeper. Batting .276 through 11 games. Here's the pitch. Check swing, foul down the first baseline, and that's strike 2. This crowd in Kansas City is very quiet. Here comes the 0-2 count. Way inside. The sweeper misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 3 people following along right now. Thank you for being here. DeCenzo's at the plate with a 1-2 count facing Bubich. Here's the pitch. This is hit up the middle to the second baseman. A soft line drive. And he fires over to first base, but Smith is luckily back. So 2 away. DeCenzo goes down with a late swing. And that brings up Brendan Rodgers. Haven't seen too much from Rodgers. Several weeks ago, he had a couple of really big games. But after that, he has just been very mute, very quiet. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss there on the sweeper. 84 miles an hour just dropped into the zone. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Another swing and a miss. Changeup low and away. 0-2 just like that to Rodgers. Swing and a miss, swing and a miss. Inside and then outside. Here comes the 39th pitch from Bubich. Ooh, that was so close. I can't believe he took that, and I can't believe the umpire did not call it a strike. 4-seam fastball on the inside. It could not have been closer to the zone. 1-2. Pitch number 40 on the way. Another sweeper low and inside, taken for ball 2. The count is even. Pretty high pitch count now for Bubich. If he keeps pitching like this, he's not going to last very long. 41 pitches now in 2 innings. Smith gets a lead off. First base, and here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's it. 2 strikeouts now for Bubich in the game. Second one coming at the hands of Brendan Rodgers. Astros strand another runner on base, this time on first. We go into the bottom of the second. The game's still tied 0-0. Hunter Brown will be back up on the mound to face Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, and then Michael Garcia. Brown with 17 pitches in the bottom of the first. A little high. Needs to get that down. Both him and Bubic have a kind of a high pitch count right now, pitch total. But Bubic is even higher. He has thrown more than 20 pitches on average per inning. Let's update the live stream here so I can double check, make sure all the information is correct. And it is the bottom of the second. No outs, no strikes, no balls. Let's look forward just for a moment at the Astros' next game. If I'm not mistaken, they're going to be back at home. Yeah, that's right. They're going to be facing the Tigers for a 3-game series at home starting tomorrow. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, they'll be playing the Tigers at home. It looks like Blanco, Gusto, and Wisniewski will be pitching. First pitch to Salvador Perez is in there for strike one. Good pitch by Hunter Brown. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the delivery. That one's hit hard to left field, right in the middle of the zone, and it's going to be off the base of the wall. DeCenzo misplays it. Perez is easily going to get to second. If he had played that well off the wall, DeCenzo could have easily gotten it there because Perez is not a fast runner. Just terribly misplayed by DeCenzo. Let me see if it came off the wall at a weird angle. Yeah, it did. It hit one of the posts and came off kind of to the right, so DeCenzo wasn't completely his fault there. No outs, runner on second. Michael Massey is at the plate, takes the first pitch right in the zone for a strike. Called a ball. 86-mile-per-hour changeup, literally right in the zone. Called a ball. Confused about that. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. Can't call that one a ball. 96-mile-per-hour. Sinker on the outside edge. Hunter Brown comes right back with the heat. And the count's even 1-1. Here comes the next pitch. That one's hit to left field. This one's going to be right at DeCenzo. He doesn't have to move too much. He brings the ball in. Fake tag by Perez. I can't imagine Perez tagging from anywhere on the field, much less from that fly ball. He's got the complete dad bod going on. One away. That brings up Michael Garcia. 2 hits for the Royals now. Here comes the first pitch to Garcia. Ooh, that one clipped the edge again. The upper outer corner of the zone, a 97-mile-per-hour fastball, but called a strike. Called a ball. Umpire is giving these pitches to the Royals hitters right now. Speaking of that, this one's hit out to right center field. McCormick runs over and grabs it and throws it back in real quick. Perez is back. He is not able to advance. Very close to being an extra base hit there to right center field. McCormick just playing him in the right spot. they're showing Chas McCormick up close. He's got the mustache. He shaved off his beard. He looks like a completely different guy right now. 2 away. Kevin Biggio is at the plate. Takes the first pitch low in the zone for a strike. A knuckle curve at 84 miles an hour. Oh, and 1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Just a little inside, misses the edge. 97 mile per hour fastball. Ball 1. I just realized that I already had the count 1-1 on the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike to Biggio. Here comes the pitch. Strike 2. Swing and a miss on that 98 mile per hour fastball. Biggio's swing there looked like a courtesy swing. He came around so late there was no chance of touching that ball. Here comes the 1-2. Hunter Brown comes off the plate. Gives a fake throw to second base. Perez trots back to second. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner on second. Here comes the pitch to Biggio. 98 miles an hour in the upper part of the zone, but fouled off. Count remains 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Here comes a pitch from Hunter Brown. Ooh, he gets it just on the outside. Hunter Brown thought that was going to be strike 3, but called a ball by the umpire. It was close, but the umpire has not been giving those pitches on the edge of the zone to Hunter Brown. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Hunter Brown has a little meeting on the mound with Yadier Diaz. They're having a little discussion about something. Quick discussion. Diaz heads back to the plate. This next pitch is the 30th of the game for Brown. Still a little higher total than I would like to see through 2 innings, but not bad compared to Bubic. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Biggio. 96 up in the zone, fouled back. Count remains 2-2. Another 2-2 pitch on the way. In the dirt, full count. The changeup misses. Here's the full count pitch. Swing and a miss finally gets him. Another strikeout for Hunter Brown. This time, Kevin Biggio goes down with the swing. 3 strikeouts in the game for Hunter Brown. ERA down to 1.09. Gave up 1 hit. No runs scored. We go into the top of the 3rd. Still goose eggs on the board. Chas McCormick is due up for the Astros in just a moment, followed by Jeremy Pena and then Isaac Paredes. I was about to say Jose Altuve, but he is not in the game today. They've decided to give him a rest, so he's watching the game from the dugout. He probably needs it. Been kind of a slump these past few games. Shoot asks, would you trade Valdez? Shoot The answer for me to that question is it really depends. I would not rule it out. To me, it's not a yes or no question. It's a depends. Oh, well, it's not a yes or no answer. It is a depends answer. It depends on what we get in return. Because overall, the Astros staff is pretty loaded right now, the pitching staff. And although it would be a loss to not have Valdez, if we could get some amazing guys in return, at least one guy who really could hit the ball and was hitting the ball in the process of hitting the ball, then yes, I would definitely consider trading Valdez. The closer and closer he gets to free agency, the more important such a trade becomes. Because I think it's going to be similar to Kyle Tucker. At the end of his contract, the Astros are not going to be able to pay what Valdez demands. That's just my opinion. McCormick is at the plate facing Bubich. Here's the first pitch. Good take. 91 above the zone for ball 1. Chas McCormick batting 222 through 18 games. His on-base percentage is above 400 when he's a starter. That's an impressive stat. Ball 2, good take again by McCormick. 2-0. Bubich most likely will go over 50 pitches this inning. If he stays with the same progress, he'll go over 60. Here's the 2-0 pitch. In there, but fouled away by McCormick. 91 mile per hour fastball. 2-1 is the count. McCormick looking a little like Glenn Davis from way back in the day with that mustache. Here's the pitch. He hits this one again, foul. Another 91 mile per hour fastball. 2 sailing off into the crowd, and the count is even, 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. McCormick hits this one out into right field, and it's going to drop. Heck yes. McCormick has himself a leadoff hit, and we have a runner on first base. McCormick comes through. Nice, perfect little golf into the opposite field. And that brings up Jeremy Pena. Top of the batting order again for the Astros. Chance to do some damage. Pena goes up the middle. Is it going to drop? No, it's going to be playable by the center fielder. He flies out on another soft liner. I think the first one was to the second baseman. This one to the center fielder. Isaac Paredes comes to the plate. 1 out, runner on first. Paredes is such a chubby little guy. But man, the way he plays and moves is definitely not like his body. He's got the body of a toad. The overall layout of a toad. 1 ball and no strikes to Paredes. Here comes the pitch. High and outside for ball 2. Good takes for the Astros so far this inning. Pitch number 50 about to be on the way. 2 hits for the Astros and the Royals each. Here comes the delivery. Low and inside, ball 3, 3-0. Kind of like that. Yordan Alvarez on deck. He had a double off the center field wall. His last at bat with a smooth swing. If he's swinging like that, we need some base runners. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Paredes. Ball 4. Excellent. 2 on with 1 out. The commentator said that Espada mentioned the change in the batting order, putting Jordan third instead of second because he was hoping to get more traffic on the bases for Alvarez. Well, here we are with runners on first and second, one out. Here's the pitch. He takes that one low in the zone, an 82-mile-per-hour sweeper. Little check swing there, but it was in the zone for strike one. .52 pitches now for Bubic. Here comes the 53rd. Alvarez swings hard. That ball's all the way out to center field. It could be gone, guys. I kid you not. It is gone. A 3-run shot by Jordan Alvarez. He does it. Jordan's first hit off Bubic was off the wall in center field for a double. His second hit is a 3-run bomb. Finally, the Astros get runs on the board. And it is Jordan Alvarez who does it, a 3-run shot. And that's the way it's supposed to work right there. The Astros actually get runners on the bases, and then Jordan cleans them off. Maybe that's the reason why he hasn't been doing so well. He doesn't hit as well when there are people in the dugout rather than on the bases. 3-0. Everybody's cheering about that one. Big hugs in the dugout for Alvarez. That feels good. It's got to feel good for everybody on the team. Fans too. First pitch to Walker was fouled back for strike one. Yeah, Astros commentator said, I didn't even hit that one and it felt good. Yeah, it felt good to me too. Another foul away by Walker. 93-mile-per-hour fastball. 0-2. Wouldn't mind seeing Walker go deep. Man, 2 bombs to center field for Alvarez. One off the wall and the other up in the stands. He's swinging the bat today. He's seeing what he likes. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. High and outside, good take for ball one. Yainer Diaz on deck. 3 home runs so far for Walker this season. A couple of those have been pretty timely. Way inside, almost gets him on the arms. Ball 2, the count is even. Shoot says, hell yeah, that's exactly how I feel. Pardon me for not getting too excited. It's almost 4 in the morning here, and I don't want to disturb anybody or keep my voice down as much as possible. Here's a 2-2 pitch. 93 fouled back. The count remains 2-2. I'm feeling much better now. 3 runs on the board after getting up at 3 in the morning. .59 pitches on the way from Bubic. Swing and a miss. Oh no, that was a foul ball. I was wondering what was going on there. I thought that was strike 3. Walker swung at it and just stood there, but apparently he fouled it at the plate and the catcher could not hang on to it. So we'll have another 2-2 pitch. 60th pitch for Bubic on the way. Grounded to shortstop. He scoops it up. Whiff Jr. makes the play to first for out number 2. They go back and show the beautiful swing by Jordan. It's nice to see the Royals players in the dugout just watch that one get launched. Man, 416. 2 away. Here's Diaz. He goes into right center field, but the center fielder's over and grabs it. Very first pitch, he lines out. And that's going to do it for the inning. But with the Astros' 3rd hit, the big bomb by the big man, Jordan Alvarez, straight up to center field. He comes in and gives the salute to Christian Walker. 3-0 Astros. 3 hits, 3 runs. Good start to the 3rd inning. We are going into the bottom of the 3rd. Hunter Brown will be back up on the mound in just a moment. He'll be facing Drew Waters followed by Kyle Isbell and Jonathan India. Let me double check the likes on the live stream. And if you guys haven't already, I appreciate you leaving a like. I see that there are 7. It appears that most of you have already left a like, and I appreciate that. Minimal goal is 10 right now for live stream likes. Preference is 20, and ideally more than 30. But this year, it's been a slow start to the season, not just for the Astros, but for the channel. So getting to 30 likes hasn't happened yet. I think the maximum has been 23. 23 total. So I have gotten to 20 a couple of times, but not to 30 yet. It'll happen eventually as the live streams keep going and the season progresses. The games become more and more important. More and more people will watch. It's just the nature of things, you know. Early in the season, people don't watch as much. Astros pitching has been good so far this series, just allowing 2 runs in each of the first 2 games. So far, Hunter Brown has this one locked down. Drew Waters is at the plate. First time seeing Hunter Brown this game. Here comes the pitch. This one was tapped off the foot of Waters and called a foul ball. Strike 1. Brown takes a little stroll around the mound after he gets a new ball. Now he's back up on the rubber, and here comes the delivery. Swing and a miss. Man, at 88-mile-per-hour changeup. Fooled Waters big time. He couldn't even get the bat on it. 0-2's the count. Here comes a pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-pitch strikeout, and the 4th strikeout of the game for Hunter Brown. Man, 3 straight pitches, strike, strike, strike. Another knuckle curve. It worked the last time. Why not throw it again? Good decision. Kyle Isbell comes to the plate. Left-handed batter. Batting 9th in the lineup. Here comes the pitch. 95-mile-per-hour fastball in the top of the zone. He lays off. Ball 1. Just about an inch too high on that one. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Right in there. 98 inside the bottom part of the zone. Man, what a pitch. Count is even. Here comes the next delivery. This one's hit up the middle. That's going to be a base hit. McCormick tried to go for it at first, but then changed his mind at the last minute, and it took a bounce, a little short hop, and went into his gut. So that's going to go down as a hit. Looks like McCormick was really thinking about diving for it, and then at the last minute pulled up. There wasn't anybody behind him, so that ball could have gone all the way to the wall. Could have been a triple if he hadn't contained it. So probably the right decision to pull up and stop that ball. That brings up Jonathan India with a runner on first and 1 out. He takes that one up and in for ball 1. He also has a single this game, his first at bat. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Whoa. Way inside on that 94-mile-per-hour pitch. Almost got him. 2 balls and no strikes. .40 pitches now for Brown. comes the next one. Just a little high and inside. Ball 3. 3-0. He's just missing by a little too much right now. Probably going to come right down the gut with a fastball here. Well, he did throw a it was a sinker, but he missed by a good 4 inches above the zone. 4-pitch walk by Hunter Brown. I think that's his first walk of the game. I like the commentators saying that Hunter Brown is creating a challenge for himself. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he's doing. He's having a meeting on the mound right now with Diaz. Diaz is like, hey man, what are you doing? And Hunter Brown says, listen, the game just isn't very challenging right now. These batters aren't giving me a run for my money, so I decided to put a couple of guys on and then face Bobby Wiff Jr. just to give myself a challenge. So we're probably going to go for a double play here. And Diaz is like, okay, I don't see the logic in that, but let's do it. Astros Houston says, let's go Houston Astros. Absolutely, I agree. Wiff Jr. is at the plate. He's looking ready to go. Runners take their leads. Hunter Brown comes set, and here's the delivery. Strike 1 on the outside edge. A knuckle curve, 84 miles an hour. Beautiful pitch. 0-1 the count against Wiff Jr. Bobby Wiff. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's fouled back. A 93 mile per hour cutter. Low and outside. He just barely got a piece of it. 0-2 ahead in the count. Now Brown can do whatever he likes to try to get that third strike. Hunter Brown's got some big arms. Here comes the 0-2. Strike 3. Holy cow. 89 mile per hour changeup right below the zone. True to his name, Wiff Jr. Whiffs. 2 away. 3 pitches against their best hitter and one of the best in the game right now. Man, 0 for 2 today. I want to see a game where Wiff does nothing. I want to see him go 0 for 4, 0 for 5. I'd prefer 0 for 4. Pasquantino comes to the plate with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. 89 on the outside. A changeup. 4 straight strikes for Hunter Brown. Was it 5 or 6 strikeouts? Here comes the next pitch. That one's in the dirt. Good catch by Yiner. Yiner caught that one like it was nothing. Surprising. He made it look so easy. 1 ball, 1 strike. Vinny Pasquantino. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. This one's hit high into left field. This is going to be playable. DeCenzo's over there and it falls into the net. DeCenzo catches it off the net, but that's going to be a foul ball. But it is strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Daniel Berry Sports says, happy Sunday, everyone. And I'll say happy Monday to you, Daniel. It is Monday here in Japan. I'm living in the future. Here's the 49th pitch of the game for Hunter Brown. In the dirt on that knuckle curve. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 runners on, 2 outs. Hunter Brown comes set. Here comes the lob. Right in there. Strike 3. Hunter Brown gives his glove a little punch. Back-to-back strikeouts on Wiff Jr. and Pasquantino. How do you like that? Hunter Brown getting the job done. 6 strikeouts for him in this game in the first 3 innings. Can you believe that? Hunter Brown averaging 2 strikeouts per inning right now. Amazing stuff right there. That's it for the 3rd inning, guys. We go into the top of the 4th. The Astros due up here in just a moment. Cam Smith, followed by Zach DeCenzo, and then Brendan Rodgers. 3 hits for the Astros, 3 hits for the Royals, 3 runs for the Astros, 0 for the Royals. They flipped the script today thanks to a couple of base runners and a timely long bomb from Yordan Alvarez. Had a few more join recently to the live stream. Thank you for being here, wherever you are. Hope you're having a pleasant morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you happen to be. It's almost 4:15 in the morning here in Japan. Astros up 3-0, hoping that this game continues cruising along just like this, with the Astros putting some runs on the board and keeping the Royals from doing likewise. The Stros have unfortunately already lost the series, but they can get back on track with a win here before going back home to face the Tigers. Very important momentum game. I just realized that the Rockets lost Game 3 against the Warriors. I haven't been following it closely because I just don't care about the NBA or the NFL anymore. I don't care about these leagues. But I do hope the Rockets can do better. First pitch to Cam Smith is right on the inside edge for strike 1. 1 walk for Smith after a really good at-bat his last time up. He came back from an 0-2 count to get the walk. Here comes the pitch, low and inside, for ball 1. That evens the count. Alvarez with the 3-run bomb. Yes, Casey, that's right. And it was a bomb indeed. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. Smith takes that one way outside. Good take. Ball 2. It's really funny whenever I hear the commentators say, it's a bomb, and that was a bomb, and it was like a home run to left field, barely over the fence. I don't know if I would call those bombs, but Jordan's was a bomb to center field. That pitch is right in there for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cam Smith. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on that inside slider. So after a really good at bat and a walk, Cam Smith comes back and looks like an amateur, striking out, and he'll go sit down. He's 0 for 1 today. And Zach DeCenzo comes to the plate. He lined out his last at bat, looking for his first hit of the day. Here comes a pitch. That one looks similar to the one Cam Smith struck out on, a sweeper, low and inside. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. That one almost hit DeCenzo. He had to jump out of the way. Catcher couldn't even handle it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bubic brings the next toss. Man, another changeup, low and inside, swing and a miss. Man, what is it with these guys? DeCenzo and Smith swinging at those pitches. They're almost in the dirt. 69 pitches for Bubic, and the 70th will be on the way in just a moment. Here comes the rock toss from Bubic. DeCenzo goes on that one. That was a solid strike, but he fouls it off into the right field crowd. Count remains 1-2. We're going to have another 1-2 pitch. Here it is. That one's hit in play, but right to the right fielder. Another solid strike, but easily playable for Waters out in right field, and that is out number 2. That brings up Brendan Rodgers. Here comes the first toss to Rodgers, and he grounds that one to Whiff Jr., who mishandles it there for a minute, getting it out of his glove, and then makes kind of a bad throw to first, but first baseman is able to handle it for out number 3, and that's it for the Astros in the top of the 4th. 3 up and 3 down, nothing doing. We go into the bottom of the 4th, Astros up 3-0 still. Hunter Brown will be facing Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, and Michael Garcia. Yeah, Casey says finally about Alvarez home run. Yeah, Casey, not only that, Jordan is 2 for 2 today. His double hit the center field fence. It was very close to being a homer. And his second hit was, of course, the long bomb, 3-run shot. Either one of those hits would have scored runs, but I much prefer the home run. He would have gotten 2 runs had it been the double. But it's nice to see him get the double and the home run. To get both is really good. Jordan needs that for his pride, his ego, his confidence. Get back to typical Jordan things. Jordan doing Jordan things. That's what we need to see. It looks like I am one shy of 290 subs. I need to get myself one more. It's just a slow part of the year right now. Subscribers really took off for me last year when I started in the summer. Those games, I guess, were more popular, lots more people looking and watching and more interested, and subs really took off for me. It's been a slow start to the year. Maybe it's just too early, not as many people following too closely. Fans don't seem to be as interested until the games start to get further in. First pitch to Salvador Perez is a 95-mile-per-hour sinker right in there for strike 1. Here comes the next pitch by Brown. That one is hit to right field. Smith comes over and he gets underneath it and he's able to put it away. Perez actually got a double his last at bat against Brown, but he flies out there. 1 away. Michael Massey is due up in just a moment. Six strikeouts so far today. Let's see if Hunter Brown can get another one. Here comes the first pitch to Massey. Ooh, that's a strike. 92 miles per hour, right on the inside edge. Beautiful pitch from Brown. Massey's 0 for 1 today with a line out. Here comes the pitch. He lines that one at left field, and that's going to get down for a hit. It bounces in front of DeCenzo, and he brings it in. So a 1-out base runner on first base. Massey now 1 for 2 today against Hunter Brown. That is the 4th hit for the Royals. Garcia also lined out against Brown his last at bat. Hunter Brown comes set, and here's the pitch. Right in there, 95 in the bottom of the zone for strike 1. Hunter Brown often comes back with these fastballs right in the zone when he gets a bad call or something doesn't go his way or somebody gets a hit. He comes back with a fastball right in the zone. Here comes the next pitch. Another fastball. This one up in the zone but fouled back. 0-2 just like that on Garcia. Casey Jones says, watched the UFC event in Kansas City last night. Rogers, a new guy playing second for Houston today. Yeah, well, Rogers, yeah, he's new for the Astros this year. He's been on second a few times. But with Altuve taking a break, they've got DeCenzo in left. And Rogers on second. 0-2 is the count against Garcia. Here comes the toss from Hunter Brown after a long delay. 98 just misses the upper outer portion of the zone. 1-2 is the count. One out, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first. Here's the pitch. Garcia takes that for strike 3. The umpire knew it right away. 96 in the top of the zone. That's the 7th strikeout for Hunter Brown this game, and that's out number 2. Holy cow, if Brown gets another strikeout here, he's going to have 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. Insane, absolutely insane. 1.04 ERA at the moment. Here comes the first pitch to Kevin Biggio. He struck out his last at bat. Ball 1 on that fastball. Yeah, Biggio went down hacking at the ball his last at bat. Let's see if Brown can teach him another lesson right here. Here comes the pitch. That one's hit right up the middle. Broken bat. Rogers throws over to first base. Great throw. The backhand and then the over-the-shoulder throw by Brendan Rodgers to get the out at first base. Hunter Brown seems to have just set an Astros record, I believe, for most scoreless inning by an Astro in their team history. I believe that's what it is. He's on track to definitely getting the pitcher of the month playing like this. 7 strikeouts, tons of scoreless innings up to this point. That's the end of 4. We're going to the top of the 5th. Astros leading 3-0 over the Royals at home. If you haven't liked the video already, I appreciate you doing that on the live stream. It would help out with a few things, primarily exposure to more people on YouTube. That's what I would like to see, more exposure, more people coming in. Chas McCormick is due up for the Astros in just a moment. He's 1 for 1 today with an opposite field single, followed by Jeremy Pena. Pena has flown out twice today. Once to the infield, once to the outfield. And then Isaac Paredes. Both Pena and Paredes looking for their first hits today. Astros with only 3 hits, 2 of those coming from Jordan, a double and a homer. Single by McCormick, and that's it. Here comes the first pitch to the Tasmanian Devil. He takes that one for a ball. 85-mile-per-hour slider just high. Good take. One and 0 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Chas takes that one inside for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes. 75th pitch of the game for Bubic on the way. That one's hit hard to left field, left center. Is it going to get out to the wall? It's going to drop and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Chas McCormick digs for 2. They have a little trouble getting the ball in, but he's going to have to slow down and stop at second base. Holy cow. Chas McCormick with the single, and now with the double. Is Chas going for the cycle today? Can you imagine Chas McCormick getting a cycle? I was waiting for Myers to do it recently, but it'd be awesome to see Chas do it. Jonathan India tried to rush over and get that one off the ground. Just misplayed it, and then it got to the wall. Pena would have been on third for sure with that hit. Speaking of Pena, he's at the plate right now. He swings and misses at the first one. That was a big hack by Pena. 84-mile-per-hour slider, strike 1. We have ourselves a leadoff runner in scoring position. Oh and 1 is the count against Pena. Chasmanian Devil on second takes his lead. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1, and the count is even. Four hits now for the Astros, even with Kansas City in that regard. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Pena. Pena hits that now in the left field. That's going to be down. McCormick should score. He'll be waved home. They bring the throw in, but it's too late. The ball gets away from second base. No. Nobody was covering second base. They threw the ball into the shortstop, and nobody was covering second base, and Pena went to second. Heads up play there by Jeremy Pena. So we are basically moving base runners around right now. Chas McCormick scores on the double by Pena. Pena noticed, hey, there's nobody at second base, so he just ran up there. Holy cow. Whiff Jr. came over there too late. Paredes at the plate now with a no outs, runner on second. The Flash is on second base. First pitch is just a little inside for ball 1. Astros up 4-0 now. I'm liking this. 5 hits now for the Astros. A walk and a run scored for Isaac Paredes. Let's see if he can Isaac the ball right here. Here's the pitch. A little outside, but the umpire liked it. It looks like it might have clipped the outside edge of the plate. 80 pitches now for Bubic. Here comes the 1-1 count pitch. Paredes fouls that one away. He had a big leg kick and came around hard. Fouled that fastball back. Casey Jones says, good wheels from Pena. Yeah, heads up play too. Nobody was covering, so he just took off and got to second base. Let's see if we can get him in. Here's the pitch to Paredes. He fouls that one away. Stays alive on the sweeper. Count remains 1-2. Yeah, Bubic's ERA has been going up, while Brown's has been going down. Bubic steps off the rubber, takes a break. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Paredes takes that one high and outside for ball 2. The count is even. Yordan Alvarez on deck has another opportunity here in just a moment. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one's grounded to shortstop. Pena will go back to second and be held there. Paredes gets thrown out at first for the first out of the inning. But we do have another runner in scoring position for Yordan Alvarez. Oh yes, that home run for Yordan earlier, by the way, was 436 feet. 436 feet, just shy of the fountains in center field. Pretty crazy. Here comes the first pitch to Alvarez. Just a little outside, taken for ball one. Oof. Alvarez just passed the big bopper Glenn Davis for 8th all-time home run leader on the Astros. Here comes the 1-0 pitch in the dirt for ball two. Double and a home run for Alvarez. He's just missing the single and the triple. I'm gunning for everybody to get the cycle today. On the Astros, that is. Here is the 2-0 pitch. Outside and away. He's not pitching to him right now. I wonder if they'll just walk him here. Just let him go to first. Jordan has the 3rd highest OPS all time in this stadium. Here comes the pitch. Low in the dirt. 4 straight pitches. He pitched all around Alvarez right there. He didn't want any part of him. Didn't give him anything he could be swinging at. I've seen that before. And now that Jordan is hitting hot in this game, it makes sense why you wouldn't want to pitch to him. Bubic is up to almost 90 pitches now. He's got 88. The pitching coach comes out to the mound and the infield will come in to have a little meeting. Christian Walker is at the plate now with 2 runners on and just 1 out. Christian Walker's got some power too. He could drive in 3 more runs right here with a swing of the bat. I wouldn't mind seeing the Astros up 7-0. First pitch from Bubic is on the way. He takes that sweeper low and a little away for strike 1. Strikeout and a ground out today for Walker thus far. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Check swing on that ball outside. 1-1 is the count. "90 pitches for Bubic. Here's the pitch. This is hit hard to left field. It's all the way out to the wall, and it's gone. Oh, but it's a foul ball. 5 feet or less from the pole. Oh, it looks like it hit a child in the crowd, too. There's a child crying. Somebody didn't do a very good job of protecting their kid. That was sad. The commentators didn't even say anything about it. They showed it. They showed the kid crying, but they didn't say anything. They just avoided it. Strike 3 on that next pitch. Walker goes from missing a 3-run home run by 5 feet or less to striking out for out number 2. How many times have I seen Walker do that in the past week? Just hit a home run less than 10 feet from the foul pole. Some of those were in the upper deck. He's just getting around on it too early. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate batting .217. Nothing doing in this game so far, but he hits this one up the middle, and it's going to be playable. It looks like it is. That's out number 3. Astros strand 2 base runners, but they do manage to get 1 run and tack onto their lead. 4-0. They go into the bottom of the 5th, leading the Royals. 5 hits for the Stros, 4 hits for the Royals, and the Royals have 1 error. My guess is that it's their mistake in allowing Pena to go to second and not having anyone cover. Very interesting. That might be it for Bubic this game. He is over 90 pitches. Might not see him in the next inning. We will see. Brown is at 60 pitches. Bubic actually has more than 30 pitches more than Hunter Brown right now. That's crazy. Brown will be facing Drew Waters, Kyle Isbell, and Jonathan India. The last two guys in the bottom of the batting order are due up. Waters 0 for 1 today. Isbell 1 for 1. One strikeout for Waters. A victim of Hunter Brown. We're about ready to start the bottom of the fifth. More than halfway through this ball game. Hunter Brown about to face Drew Waters with a 4-run lead. Got a shutout going and a 4-hitter. Here comes the first pitch to Waters. Too far inside on that cutter. Ball 1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, a 94-mile-per-hour fastball in the top of the zone. The count is even. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That's in there. How could that not be called a strike? 87-mile-per-hour changeup. Right on the inside zone. The ball was completely in the zone and called a ball by the umpire. What is with this umpire today? Missing some of these obvious calls. There's another obvious one in the zone. He calls that one a strike, thankfully. 88-mile-per-hour changeup. 2-2 is the count. Overall, this umpire is not bad, but he's had some brain farts, it looks like. 83-mile-per-hour knuckle curve fouled off at the plate. Waters remains alive. .65 pitches now for Brown. Here comes the 66th. Bounced foul again. Another knuckle curve. Same result. Two balls and two strikes to Waters. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on the changeup finally. All he had to do was drop it a little more. Good pitch. Beautiful. 88 miles an hour, and that ball does not go back to the future. It just goes right into Yiner's mitt. Kyle Isbell's back at the plate. He throws his bat on the first pitch. Oh, he didn't throw it. It broke on the handle. Isbell fouled that ball off, and his bat broke completely right on the handle. It shattered, and the bat went straight to the backstop as he swung it around. That's crazy. I thought he threw the bat. He just broke at the handle. That's crazy. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. In the dirt on that one. He checks his swing. Ball 1. Man, that was a strange looking swing. I thought he had thrown his bat. But apparently, right above the fists, the bat broke. The whole barrel went flying. Swing and a miss. 88-mile-per-hour changeup right in the zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hunter Brown pitching with some authority here. Quickly going into the pitch with a 1-2. High fastball just misses by a few inches. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 toss from Brown. Right inside, just barely misses. 98 miles an hour. Couldn't have been more than 2 inches from the edge of the zone. Full count. Hunter steps off the mound as Isbell takes a break. Gives Brown a little breather. Now he's back up on the rubber. He's got the pitch that he wants. Probably a fastball. Here it comes. This is hit up the middle, but straight at Pena, who scoops it up on 1 hop and fires over to first. Good play. 96-mile-per-hour pitch. I guessed correctly. Let's take a look at that right quick. That was a difficult catch by Pena. Short hop, he had to scoop it up. Caught it with the heel of his glove. Jonathan India is at the plate. The top of the lineup takes the first pitch low and outside for ball 1. 2 outs, nobody on here in the bottom of the 5th. A single and a walk for India today. See if Brown can get him this time. 97 in the top of the zone for strike 1. Good pitch. 1-1. Here comes the next pitch to India. Whew, he almost got him to go around on that high fastball, just a little high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here comes a 2-1 pitch. Fouled off. Change up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Altuve is over there in the dugout relaxing, and they said that that foul ball almost got him. He had to jump out of the way. Don't want to see Altuve get injured by a foul ball. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That could have been strike 3 just on the outside edge. 97-mile-per-hour fastball. Full count. 2 outs, no runners on. Here comes the lob from Hunter Brown. Bounce foul again. 88 miles an hour in the low part of the zone. Good changeup, but India is able to get the bat on it. Hunter Brown trying to get 1 over on India here. India has a hit and a walk. Hunter Brown looking for the strikeout. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. That one's in there and hit into right field, and India wins again. He gets a single, a little light opposite field hit. A 2-out single. India just getting the better of Hunter Brown today with 2 hits and a walk. And that brings up Bobby Wiff Jr., where India has been owning Brown. Brown has been owning Wiff. He's 0 for 2 today. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. Speaking of Wiff, a 98-mile-per-hour fastball just above the zone. 2 strikeouts for Wiff Jr. today, living up to his name. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's hit hard to the third base side. Wiff finally gets the better of Brown. Scoreless streak for Hunter Brown is over. India scores from first base as that ball goes all the way out to the left field fence. And Wiff Jr. is on second base with a double. A hard hit ball right down the line all the way out to left field. The long scoreless streak by Hunter Brown is broken up. Low and inside and just ripped down the line. Paredes is nowhere near it. Can't do anything with it. By the time DeCenzo gets over there and throws it in, it's already too late. 4-1, Astros are up, but the scoreless streak for Brown is over. Vinny Pasquantino is at the plate. The first pitch to him is out of the zone for ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Fouled back. Strike 1, and that count is even. Two strikeouts for Pasquantino today. Here's the 1-1 toss. This one's hit really hard to right field, but foul. Way off into the crowd. Strike 2. 1-2 is the count. Brown steps up on the rubber, looks for the pitch. He's got what he wants. Here comes the 1-2. Right in there for a ground ball. Rogers scoops it up, lobs it over to Walker, and that's out number 3. So Brown does give up 1 run. Casey now has 6 hits. Astros up 4-1. That's the end of the 5th. We go into the top of the 6th. Astros up 4-1, of course. Hunter Brown now through 5 complete innings. Astros due up here in just a moment. Cam Smith, Zach DeCenzo, and Brendan Rodgers. Smith, DeCenzo, and Rodgers all hitless this game. Let's see if they can get something started here. In this particular lineup, Christian Walker and Yainer Diaz, the only 2 guys batting below 200. Walker has pulled his average up just a little bit, but he's still at 191. Let's see if we've got some more likes on the stream. Let's see if we can get to 10. Right now it's sitting at 7. So for those of you who have not liked the live stream, I would appreciate you doing that now. Get me up to that minimal target of 10. I'm guessing that the Royals will have a pitching change. Yep, Chris Stratton is in the game for the Royals. Chris Stratton. I'm not sure if I have his picture in my folder, but we'll see. Yes, I do. Chris Stratton is on the mound, and he is facing Cam Smith. Smith takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. That was an 81-mile-per-hour curveball low and inside for strike 1. 1-1. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. That should be 1-2 or 2-1 pitch right there. Yeah, the information on the screen was wrong. My information was right. It's 2 balls and 1 strike with that pitch. Here's the next one. Swing and a miss. Evens it up 2-2. Slider way outside. "28 consecutive scoreless innings for Hunter Brown until that last run was scored. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Smith, and he goes down swinging on the slider. Another strikeout for Smith, and looks very amateur at that at-bat. Zach DeCenzo's at the plate. Here's the first pitch from Stratton. A little inside, but the umpire liked it. Slider being called strike one. 2 lineouts for DeCenzo today. He's making some contact. Here's the pitch. 92-mile-per-hour fastball, just a little high, but called strike again. Umpire suddenly calling those strikes on the Astros. They were called balls whenever Hunter Brown was pitching. One and one is the count. Here comes a pitch. In the dirt. Ball 2. I thought that was ball 1. Strange. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, I was right. This one's tapped to the pitcher. Looks like he might not have a play. DeCenzo is safe, no problem. DeCenzo has an infield hit. He tapped that ball down the third baseline. The pitcher was the one that had to get over there and get it. By the time he threw it to first, I don't even know why he did bother throwing it to first. One out base runner. 6 hits now for the Astros, tied with the Royals for hits. Brendan Rodgers at the plate, looking for a hit himself. He fouls this one off at 92 miles an hour, strike 1. Strikeout and a ground out for Rodgers today. Rodgers showed so much potential earlier this season, but just kind of cooled off after that. Here's the pitch. 81-mile-per-hour curveball right in the zone. Swing and miss. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but an 81-mile-per-hour curveball right in the middle of the zone, I can hit that. I'm not kidding. Come on, Rodgers. You can do better. Stratton tosses over to first base, but DeCenzo is back. Every time I see DeCenzo up close, I think Yul Brynner. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Rodgers. He hits that one out to left field pretty deep, all the way back to the warning track. India gets underneath it. Just too much air, so it doesn't get out of the park. But that was a deep drive by Rodgers, out number 2. Man, I wouldn't have minded seeing a home run by Rodgers. Chas McCormick comes to the plate. Got the hot bat today. Single and a double. Will he get the triple right here? Or the homer? Let's see. Here comes the first pitch. Fouls that one away. 87-mile-per-hour pitch right in the zone. Chas McCormick has not only been on base twice with hits today, he scored both times. Getting it done for the Astros. If he had gotten out, Astros would only have 2 runs on the board right now. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He hits this one into left field. Is it going to drop? Yes, it is. Holy cow. Chas McCormick with a single to left field. 3 for 3 today. 2 singles and a double. That's funny. McCormick gets on base, and he touches his mustache. For those of you who don't know, McCormick usually has hair all over his face, and he has shaved all that off except for the mustache today. And he's stroking the mustache as he looks towards the dugout, so that's his good luck charm today, apparently. 2 runners on with 2 outs. There comes the pitch to Pena. He takes that check swing for a ball outside. Three for three today. That's awesome. Here comes the 1-0 pitch to Pena. Inside, Pena fouls that one off right off the fists. Count is 1-1. Astros have 7 hits. 3 of those are from Chas McCormick. 2 of those from Alvarez. Here comes a pitch to Pena. Way high, 92, up and out of the zone. 2-1 is the count. 2 outs here in the top of the 6th with runners on first and second, McCormick and DeCenzo. Pena at the plate. Here's the pitch. That's hit out into left field. It's going to go all the way to the wall. It's going to get at least 1. DeCenzo comes in. Chas is being waved home. He's going to score 2. How do you like that? Jeremy Pena with 3 RBIs today. With that double out to left field, the Astros up 6-1. Heck yes. Pena with a 2-out double, driving in both McCormick and DeCenzo. Getting it done this inning. 8 hits now for the Astros, 6 runs on the board. Not even close. They had no chance to throw that in and get anybody. Now we have the flash on second base with another opportunity to score. Isaac Paredes is at the plate. That one's just barely outside. 87 miles an hour. Could have been called either way. A slider. One 1-0 pitch on the way from Stratton. That one's on the inside, but called strike 1. The count is even. Here comes the 1-1 pitch to Paredes. Paredes hits sharply at Bobby Witt Jr., who fires to first and gets the 3rd out, but the Astros tack on 2 more. This is the way they should have been hitting the whole series. This is the way that I expected them to hit the whole series. They've got 8 hits and 6 runs. And they've scored in 3 separate innings. In 6 innings, they've scored 3, 1, and 2 in the 3rd, the 5th, and the 6th. KC managed to get 1 run on the board, but Hunter Brown has been locked down otherwise. A 6-hit game for him and a 1 earned run given up. We go into the bottom of the 6th. Astros up 6-1. Hunter Brown up to 86 pitches. I would guess that this is his last inning. He will not make it to the 7th, simply because of pitch count, unless he has 3 pitches and 3 outs, but chances of that are not very high. Salvador Perez is due up next, followed by Michael Massey and Michael Garcia. Perez is 1 for 2 today. Perez is at the plate, takes the first pitch outside from Hunter Brown. Ball 1. There comes a pitch. Another one outside. Ball 2. They were just showing the strikeout from Nolan Ryan that gave him the all-time strikeout leader spot. Here comes a 2-0 pitch in the dirt. Ball 3. 2 pitches outside, 1 in the dirt. 3-0. 88 pitches now, and of course Brian King is going in the bullpen. Here's the pitch, right in there. 96 mile per hour pitch, strike 1. 3-1. Brown has managed to pitch 6 innings in each of his outings. Let's see if he can get through 6 here. Here comes the next pitch to Perez. Ooh, low and inside. Perez thought it was a ball, but it was definitely in the lower inside corner, and that's a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. That one's golfed over the head of Pena into left field for another hit. 2 for 3 is Perez today. No outs, base runner, leadoff base runner. Wow. I can't imagine that anybody's ever going to beat Nolan Ryan's strikeout total. He's almost 1,000 ahead of the second guy. That's crazy. Strike 1. Michael Massey at the plate. Hunter Brown's still in the game. He's up to 93 pitches. That one's fouled away for strike 2. 0-2 quickly in this count. A strikeout and a double play right here would be great. I'd like to see Brown complete 6 innings of ball. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. This is grounded to the second baseman, Rogers. He fires to Pena over to first, and they get the double play. Well, that's what I wanted, just not in the same order. I wanted the double play and the strikeout, but we got the double play first. 2 away, no runners on. So that first base runner on that hit is erased. Well executed as usual. Hunter Brown waits and watches that double play like a hawk. Michael Garcia swings too far on that check swing, and that's strike 1. Here's the next pitch. Ooh, just a little high and outside on that 97 mile per hour pitch. The count is 1-1. Here comes the rock toss from Hunter Brown. High fastball fouled away, 1-2. He might get that strikeout. Remember, I did say a strikeout and a double play is what I'd like to see. Got the double play, just looking for the strikeout. 98 pitches now for Hunter Brown. Let's see if he can get out of this inning with less than 100. That is a high fastball out of the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. He will get to 100 pitches after all. That was the 99th. And here it comes. Right in there, strike 3. He got the strikeout, guys. I was right with my request. A strikeout and a double play. He got them in reverse order, but it's fine by me. Hunter Brown completes 6 innings with exactly 100 pitches. 7 hits given up, 1 run. The Astros lead this 6-1 going into the top of the 7th inning. It's likely that we'll see Brian King up on the mound in the 8th inning. Let's see who's coming out for the Astros. Yordan Alvarez. Angel Zerpa is on the mound for the Royals. Let's see if I've got him in my folder. No, I do not. I need to add him. picture. Add it to my collection. Where's the Royals folder? There it is. Angel. Zerpa. This shift button on this keyboard is so small. There we go. Astros actually have most quality starts for pitchers this season. $14 so far. There we go. All right. Updated. First pitch on the way to Yordan. 95 on the outside edge for strike one. A homer, a double, a walk for Yordan today. He hits that one to the first base side, scooped it by the first baseman, who runs it over himself. Zerpa runs over, but it's unnecessary. Wow. Hunter Brown has 6 quality starts this year, and that's more than 4 teams. Teams, not players. It's crazy. Christian Walker comes to the plate, takes that first pitch inside for ball 1. Here comes a 1-0 pitch. Zerpa puts that one way up out of the zone. Catcher tells him to calm down a little bit. 2 balls and no strikes to Walker. Walker, true to his name, has the ability to walk. He doesn't swing at that stuff typically. That's way out of the zone. Here's the next pitch. That one's low in the zone. Fouled away for strike 1. Oh and 3 today. See if he can do something here. Here's the pitch. That's right in there for strike 2. 96 mile per hour pitch and evens the count. Casey says Astros still in command. Hunter Brown staying sharp as usual. Yeah, he's been one of the best in baseball, if not the best. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Zerpa gets the count, and here comes the toss. Another pitch way high. Full count. Good eye by Walker. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. High fastball just out of the zone, but swing and a miss by Walker. Out number 2. 0 for 4 today is Walker as he heads back to the dugout. Just another one of those days. Yainer Diaz comes to the plate having a similar day. 0 for 3. Batting 191 for the season. Shadow of his former self. Here comes the first pitch from Zerpa. High and outside, way out there. Not even Yainer will swing at that one. One ball, no strikes. Here comes the pitch to Diaz. He fouls that one back. Strike 1 on the 4-seam fastball. Brian King now warming up again in the Astros bullpen. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Yainer goes after it into right field all the way out to the wall. That's going to be gone. Holy cow. Opposite field home run for Yainer Diaz. Well, what do you know? The other home run of the season for Yainer was a grand slam, and it was off a left-handed pitcher. This one coming off the hands of another left-hander. Just stuck the bat out there, basically. Good opposite field swing. 97 mile per hour. Four-seam fastball. How did Yiner get around on that one? Man. Just a few feet over the wall. 7-1 Astros. Good grief. 2 home runs this game. It's not a lot, but it's nice to see them hitting them. Cam Smith is at the plate with the 0-1 count. He took the first pitch for a strike. The second one is high for ball 2. 2 outs, nobody on. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That's a 97 mile per hour fastball right in the top part of the zone. 1-2. Here comes a 1-2 pitch to Smith. Fouls that one away, protecting the zone. Count remains 1-2. Isn't that funny? Got shut out 2 games in a row, and now they have 7 runs on the board. Cam Smith hits this one right up the middle, but the second baseman is there, and he throws him out at first for the 3rd out. We go into the bottom of the 7th. Astros up 7-1. 7th inning stretch is in effect. And I think that's what I will do. I will take a quick break to go get something to drink. I'll be right back, guys. Bottom of the 7th, guys. Brian King is on the mound for the Stros. He's facing Cavan Biggio. First pitch is in there for strike 1, 90 miles an hour. King has become one of my favorites on this team. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another one right in there, 90 miles per hour. 2 straight 90 mile per hour fastballs in the low part of the zone. Biggio is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a ground out. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from King. Oh man, Biggio swings. That one was right in the zone. He gets a base hit. Leadoff runner. There was no movement, it looked like, on that pitch. An all-speed pitch would have been nice there with some big movement. 7 hits now for the Royals. That brings up Drew Waters. Waters taps that one to the mound. King grabs it and fires to first. He's just in time to get Waters at first. But that moves Biggio to second. That was a good play by King to get the out at first. Good grab, good throw. Hunter Renfroe will be pinch hitting for Kyle Isbell. Diaz and King are having a little meeting on the mound, probably to discuss the new batter. One away runner on second. They just updated the hit total. Apparently there are 8 hits for the Royals right now, not 7. That last one was their 8th. Here comes the pitch from King. Check swing, but he went. The umpire says that was a strike. Didn't matter if he went or not. 0-1 against Renfroe. He's batting 167 for this year. Just a little inside on that 91 mile per hour fastball, and the count is even, 1-1. Nice swing, Diaz. Astros rolling, absolutely. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. I agree with you, Casey. That one misses the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Here comes the next pitch from King. Renfroe goes. That one's going up the middle, and that's going to be down for a single. Cam Smith is there to bring it in quick. Biggio holds up at third. Royals have runners on the corners with 1 out. So King has given up a couple of hits now here in the 7th inning. Uncharacteristic of King. Jonathan India is due up. Next. King gets the call, and here comes the pitch. Strike in the top of the zone, 92 mile per hour fastball. Well placed pitch. Here comes the pitch. 92 mile per hour pitch. Swing and a foul tip strike. 0-2. Brian King and Josh Hader apparently are turkey hunters. That's hilarious. 0-2. Here comes the pitch. This is hit hard into left field. DeCenzo comes in and makes the diving catch. Good job. But that's going to bring in a run. Sacrifice fly. DeCenzo comes in, makes the diving catch. Good play by DeCenzo in left field. But that's going to be 1 earned run for King. 7-2. Royals put another one on the board. Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Wiff Jr. comes to the plate, takes that one for a strike. Here comes the next pitch. Fouled away into the crowd for strike 2. 93 mile per hour fastball. 9 hits for the Astros and the Royals in this game now. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, just a little outside. Whiff, not happy about it, but he strikes out again. He's 1 for 4 this game. Astros shutting him down, basically. Brian King finally gets the final out, but he doesn't look too happy as he walks off the field with 1 earned run. But 1 run of damage is not so bad in this game. The Astros still leading by 5, 7-2. Going into the 8th inning, getting into the home stretch now for this game. I want to update the live stream here and see if I've got the likes going. Yeah, still sitting on 7, but not a very popular game, it seems, today. Not this one. Maybe now if people see the score, they definitely won't tune in. It's like, the Astros having the bag. What's the point in watching the end of this game? But hopefully we'll be wrapping it up in just a few moments. And I can get some more rest. It appears that the Royals have another pitcher coming in, Jonathan Bolin. I don't have him in my folder, so I will get him right quick. Jonathan Bolin. There we go. Boom. All right, there we go. Updated. Jonathan Bolin on the mound for the Royals. Here in the top of the 8th. Zach DeCenzo at the plate. 1 for 3 today. A little low and inside for ball 1. Here comes the pitch. A little check swing as that ball bounces in the dirt and outside. DeCenzo did have a single his last at bat. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Low in the zone, strike 1 on that 95-mile-per-hour fastball. Two and 1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Strike 2. Right on the inside corner. A slider just squeezing in there. 2-2 pitch from Bolin coming in just a moment. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off. 97-mile-per-hour pitch, low and inside. Count remains 2-2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on the outside edge. Bolin picks up the strikeout against DeCenzo, 1 away. That brings up Brendan Rodgers to the plate. Takes that first pitch right inside, 97 miles an hour for strike 1. Looks like it was a little out of the zone. No hits for Rodgers today. Here comes the next pitch. This is grounded straight to the shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr., who fires over to first for out number 2. quiet inning so far for the Astros. Stephen Okert appears to be warming up in the bullpen for the Astros. Well, that's interesting. Chas McCormick is up at the plate. He's never had a 4-hit game in his career. He's got the chance to do it right now. First pitch is a ball. Tenth pitch of the game on the way for Bolin. 1-0 is the count. Inside. Ball 2. 98-mile-per-hour sinker. Let's see if the mustache can give Chas McCormick his first ever 4-hit game. I'd love to see it, especially to a player like McCormick, who's struggled so much the past couple of seasons. Here's the pitch. Little tap to the first baseman. He tosses it to the pitcher who covers first base, so no 4-hit game for McCormick. But you can't complain about that. I mean, still good performance from Chas today. It's unfortunate he didn't get the 4th hit, but what a great game for McCormick today. Glad to see him doing better. What is he batting? His average is up to 318, guys. He hasn't had as many at-bats, but that he's batting 318 overall is great. It's great to see. It's nice to see some of these guys like that taking the opportunities and running with them. Like when DeCenzo was put in, he made the most of it. When Cam Smith was put in, he took a little time to shake the rust off, but he started to get the hang of it. Rogers had a short little stint, but he's been cool since then. He hasn't really done much. Bredis has been coming on recently. So if we look at the batting averages, they've been slowly coming up overall. Pena's batting 258. Bredis is batting 248. Alvarez now batting 216. Walker 189, still under 200. He and Diaz are still under 200. Diaz at 169. Smith at 209. DeCenzo at 273. Rogers at 224. And McCormick at 318. Altuve has slipped below 300. He has this game off. Hopefully it will do him some good, and when he comes back against the Tigers at home, he'll be in excellent form. My guess is that Stephen Okert is in the game now and Brian King is out. And that's correct. Okert is on the mound. 12 innings pitched, .75 ERA, 15 strikeouts. He's facing Vinny Pasquantino. Here comes the pitch. This one's hit really hard out to right field and foul. That was a rip. Strike one. DeCenzo is now out of the game. Myers moves into center field. Here comes the pitch. Called a strike. Oof. A little low and outside. Kind of generous by the umpire there. He doesn't call those strikes very often. Here comes the pitch from Okert. Grounded up the middle. Pena scoops it, slips and falls, but he gets up and he makes the play. Man, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. Pena's laughing about it, and it looked like he could have been injured on that play. He slipped on the grass, that's what it was. Yeah. After he picked up the ball, his foot slipped on that grass and he fell down. He made the throw, though, and laughed about it afterwards. Okay, that could have been bad. He could have hurt himself there. Glad to see that he's okay. One away. Salvador Perez comes to the plate, 2 for 3. First pitch to him is good, pitch low in the zone for strike one. One for 3. with a home run. Swing and a miss there. 0-2. Perez steps out of the box to take a break. Okert's back up on the rubber looking for the call. He's got it. Comes set. And here's the delivery. Little too low there, taken for ball 1. One away in the bottom of the 8th. 1-2 is the count against Salvador Perez. Steven Okert on the mound dealing. Here's the pitch. In the dirt, ball 2, and that evens the count. The slider missing by quite a substantial margin. Two balls, two strikes. Here's the delivery. And that's hit hard straight at Paredes, who scoops it up, fires over to Walker. An easy out for number 2. Perez getting it done as usual. Oh man, the Astros have dollar hot dog night every Tuesday. Every Tuesday game, dollar hot dog night. How awesome is that? Are they all beef? Do any of you guys know if the hot dogs served at Daikin Park are all beef? If so, that's a phenomenal deal. I miss having the all beef hot dogs. Not a big thing here in Japan. A lot of them are just pork. First pitch to Michael Massey is low and inside for ball 1. 2 away right now with no runners on. Here comes the 10th pitch of the inning for Okert. Swing and a miss. Four-seam fastball low and inside, and that evens the count 1-1. If any of my listeners have been to Daikin Park, let me know. I'd love to hear about it. This one's hit hard to left field, but looks like it's playable for McCormick. He gets underneath it, no problem. 1-2-3, 8th inning. Steven Okert gets the batters in order. And that's it for the 8th inning. We go into the top of the 9th. Astros have one more opportunity here to tack on some runs. 7-2 is the score. Both teams with 9 hits, but the Astros able to convert 9 of those to 7 runs. The Royals looking more like the Astros in this game, the way they played the last couple of games. Not really putting much on the board. But the Royals have managed to get 2 runs in every game against the Astros in this series. I don't mind the Astros giving up 2 runs in a game, but I do mind them not scoring any runs in those games. That is what I do mind. We have just a little bit more baseball to go before this one is in the bag. "5:30 in the morning here. Looking forward to this game being over so I can get some more rest." Do it for the Astros here in just a moment. Jeremy Pena, the leadoff batter. Top of the order, followed by Isaac Paredes and Yordan Alvarez. Pena having a pretty good game. 2 for 4 today, with 3 RBIs. Pena and Alvarez alone have 6 of the 7 RBIs for the Astros. Pena is at the plate, and he's facing Jonathan Bolin. Here's the pitch, right in there for strike 1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Pena. Takes that one low for ball one. The count is even. That's funny. Here's the 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss, low and in the dirt. Strike two. They just put the camera on Chas McCormick and he was just nodding at the camera like, that's right. Hilarious. One ball, two strikes to Pena. Here comes the pitch from Bolin. High and outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. This one's hit out into shallow right field. Is going to drop, and nope. Second baseman is out to grab it. Garcia. He puts it away for the first out. That's hilarious. Here's the next pitch. The first one to Paredes is low, ball one. Paredes is 0 for 3 today, but he does have a walk and scored whenever Alvarez homered. Here's the next pitch. That is hit really hard out to left field. Crushed, but foul by about 25 feet. Strike one, the count is even. Here's the 1-1 pitch. This one's hit hard to the third baseman, India, who fires over to first and gets him for out number 2. 2 up and 2 down. Yordan Alvarez comes to the plate. He's had himself a good day today. He's had a walk, a double, and a 3-run homer. Here comes the first pitch from Bolin. Fouled. No, I'm sorry, not fouled back. Hit out to left field on the very first pitch. Camera trickery there. I thought that was a foul ball, but Yordan flies out to left field. And that's it for the Astros in the top of the ninth. We go into the bottom of the ninth. Astros up 7-2. A game all but over. 3 more outs, and the Astros will have this in the bag. It's unclear who is pitching for the Astros in the ninth inning, but we will see. Whoever it is will be facing Michael Garcia, Kevin Biggio, and Drew Waters, assuming that there are no batting changes or pinch hitters. Let's take a look at the game data and see if they've changed the pitcher for the Astros. As it stands now, Okert is still in the game, but I would guess that they do not have him remain in for the ninth inning. We'll see. Astros up by 5. There isn't really a need for Abreu or Hader. Yep, the Astros bring in Taylor Scott. Taylor Scott will be on the mound for the ninth inning. Scott should be able to get it done. Taylor Scott is actually from South Africa. I didn't learn that until last week. He became a U.S. citizen recently. They showed some pictures the other day. Oh. They showed some pictures the other day of Taylor Scott's celebration of getting his U.S. citizenship. It's pretty funny if you look at how he dressed. He dressed up basically like a cowboy. Pretty funny. Here's the first pitch from Scott. He's facing Michael Garcia, and that's a ball. Low and away. He quickly comes set for the next pitch. Here's the delivery. Right on the outside edge, 92 mile per hour fastball. 1-1. Here comes a 1-1 pitch. That one gets away from him a little bit, up and in for ball 2. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Right in there on the outside edge. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Looks like the sun is starting to come up out here. Here comes the 2-2 pitch, fouled away. Count remains 2-2. Caesar, good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for checking in. See you tomorrow. Absolutely, the Tigers will be on the menu back in Houston. Looking forward to that. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. And this one's hit into left field. That's going to be a single. Michael Garcia. Wow, that's going to be a double. McCormick just playing a little deep there. Garcia hustled around, was able to get to second base. So a leadoff double for the Royals here in the 9th inning off Taylor Scott. Is my scoreboard not updated? It looks like it's not updated. Maybe I have to refresh it. See if I can fix that. Why is it not? It should be updated. Okay, maybe it's because I don't have the live selected. Okay, now it's... oh, it's still not right. Cavan Biggio comes to the plate. Next pitch is low, 1 ball and 1 strike to Biggio. No outs, runner on second. Just a little high and outside. Ball 2. Not really sure what's going on with the live stream here. Seem to be having some connection issues. Two balls and 2 strikes to Cavan Biggio. Here comes the pitch from Scott. This one's hit hard to center field, right field. Cam Smith comes in and grabs it, throws it in. Garcia remains on second base, 1 away. Well, it looks like the Royals are going to have at least another run. There's a hit into right field all the way to the wall. Drew Waters gets all the way to third. He's got a triple. 7-3 this game here. Royals not wanting to go down quietly. They are down by 4. Taylor Scott giving up a few hits here in the 9th and a run so far. A little bit of lag going on the live stream right now for some reason. Hunter Renfroe is at the plate. One for one today. Two and 0 is the count. Here's the pitch. A little outside, 3-0. The crowd is getting a little excited right now, the few people that are left. Here's the 3-0 pitch. That's right in there for strike one, 3-1. Taylor not putting this game away very efficiently. This pitcher now cutting into my rest time. 3 balls and 1 strike to Renfroe. And here's the pitch. This is hit into center field. Second baseman Brendan Rodgers is out there to grab it. He makes a toss home, holds the runner at third, out number 2. Scott comes back in that count from 3 balls down to get that fly ball out, and then brings up the top of the batting order with Jonathan India. He's actually 0 for 3 today with 2 strikeouts. He hits this one right down the line. A rocket, but foul. Strike 1. Just 1 out away from ending this game. 11 hits for the Royals, but only 3 runs. Astros have 9 hits and 7 runs. Here's the next pitch from Scott. Hit straight back and foul for strike 2. Now we are just 1 strike away from the Astros putting this one in the bag. Taking 1 away from the series at KC, and then going back home and trying to regroup for the Tigers. In just a moment, as soon as this game is over, I'll give you a quick recap, and then I'm out of here. Here's the 0-2 pitch to India. This one's hit hard, but foul. Count remains 0-2. The crowd giving some lethargic cheers, but it's all but over. Just need 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Taylor Scott. Way outside and in the dirt for ball 1. 1-2. That pitch is just low. Ball 2. Taylor Scott having a little bit of difficulty ending this game. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're just 1 strike away. Here comes the pitch. Low again. Full count. Man, what is with Scott here? "24 pitches now coming for Scott this inning. That's nuts." This one's hit into center field. Jake Myers comes in, and he grabs it, and that's out number 3 finally. Thank you. Good Lord, thank you. So the Astros do give up 1 more run, but win this one 7-3. I'll give you the quick rundown of the game before I go. And before I do that, I just want to say thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. Quick summary of the scoring. In the top of the 3rd, Alvarez hit a 3-run bomb, 436 feet to center field. 3-0 Astros. In the top of the fifth, Pena singled to left, scoring scoring one more at the time. 4-3 Astros. In the bottom of the fifth, Witt Jr. doubled to left, scoring India, putting the Royals on the board 4-1. In the top of the sixth, the Astros would score again with a double to left field from Pena, scoring McCormick and DeCenzo 6-1 Astros. In the top of the seventh, Diaz homer to right field, opposite field, 7-1 Astros. In the bottom of the seventh, the Royals got another run on the board when India sacrificed to left field, 7-2. And then in the bottom of the ninth, Taylor Scott gave up a triple to Waters, scoring Garcia, 7-3, and that's where the game would end up right there. 11 hits for the Royals, 9 hits for the Astros. Astros put this one in the bag, 7-3. They lose the series, but they pick up the final game after a miserable hitting performance by the Astros. They come back with some good hits and scoring, and a couple of long bombs. 13-13 again for the season, back to 500. And they're going to go back home for a series starting tomorrow against the Detroit Tigers. Looking forward to seeing you all then. I just want to say again, thank you all for being here. I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subs, all of your support. And until next game, we'll say Geaux Stros.